doing my hair here. Make sure it looks extra puffy.
Hi, I'm
Too
Erica
flat.
Del Sordo. I've been a voiceover artist for 20 years with a combined 18 years of experience reporting news and traffic on radio and television. You can find me on all my social media sites. You can find me as Erica Del Sordo, Erica Del Sordo Productions. My website is www.ericadelsordo.com. I'm still on Twitter as @LaurenLane7 because I just haven't fixed that yet from when I was on air. That was my on-air handle. And then I have a YouTube channel, and that's where this video is going to be, along with all of those other areas. Now, why am I here? I decided that I was going to talk about the coronavirus and how it's affecting different business owners. So I recently had the pleasure of seeing my cousin and speaking with her about the coronavirus and how it's affecting her business, how it's affecting her family, how it's affecting her friends, and how really they could be infected. And that's the other aspect of this. So the other aspect completely is my cousin, Gina's mother, has cancer, and how that's affecting the entire family from seeing her. So here with me now is my beautiful cousin, Gina Rassiopi. She's the owner of AG Family Insurance.
Hey, cuz, how are you?
How is work today?
You know, today was my first day working from home and everything went smooth. I kind of really enjoyed it, actually, probably too much. But I'm, you know, everyone answered the phones when they were supposed to. We had to put in a whole new infrastructure for the office, you know, who's in charge of what times, answering the phone, who's on backup, who's, you know, it's a lot to coordinate. You know, when
a lot of craziness.
Yeah, when you're
Well,
working.
we were discussing how it's affecting your employees as well, and that aspect of that.
Well, yeah, now they have social distancing, and then they have distance learning. So now my employees are like, how am I supposed to work and teach my kids? You know, they've got 3 children. How are they supposed to manage all of that from home? And, you know, it's like there's no playbook for this. You know, we're all just kind of doing the best that we can, and I think that's all that we can do. So if you hear a dog barking or a kid yelling, "Mommy," you know, everybody so far, all my clients today have just been like ultra patient, just like, take your time. It's okay. Like, I understand. They were more concerned about me and my family and my mom. You know, everybody was just very, very concerned, more so about health-wise, like what we're doing here versus the actual reason why they were calling. So everyone's just, I think, starting to pull together and, you know, realize the severity and just like stay safe, like take your time, do what you got to do, get back to me. You know, I think that's the one thing is you have to ask people for patience because, you know, so one of my employees took her equipment home, but I didn't. So she's got her work CPU there, and you know, they're obviously going to work a little faster than mine. I have here, I have it all set up, but I didn't want to touch all the wiring or anything. So like, I brought the phone home. We all have our phone system that we can all talk to each other. But, you know, even the clients calling are, you know, these restaurants, it's a big deal now. The, how is this virus going to be covered for business interruption? You know, and there's so many skeptics saying no. Some people say yes. If you talk to an attorney, they're saying you can find a way to get coverage. You know, I have some clients that only have general liability that, you know, that doesn't cover property, and property is attached to business interruption. So what I'm telling all my clients, if, you know, they want to file a claim, file it. And the worst that they could say is no. And then more than likely when they get a denial letter, they can at least go to the government for funding and say, hey, I tried to get it here. They wouldn't cover it. So every policy has different verbiage. So it's going to be depending on how the adjuster interprets the language of the policy. So it's a biggie deal because these restaurants, even today I had a client can't afford their workers' comp. It's $2,800 a month. You know, they've got an $800,000 payroll. They just laid off every single employee, every single one. So she's like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you have somebody who's at least doing carry out and a chef, you know, like, what are you doing? She's like, no, wait, they laid off everybody, like every single person. I mean, this is a $3 million, this isn't a little tiny mom and pop restaurant. I mean, this is a big restaurant in Naples. Yeah. And, you know, it's like, you know, that these are accounts. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out how to save, how to work with the underwriters, how to drop coverage. Sorry about that.
Well, and you're in a big area. You're in
Right.
well, the Naples side, the west coast of Florida,
Right. Right. We're
and
in
that
Southwest
is,
Florida.
and you know what's funny? While I happen to have all of this up, I had wanted to run through the numbers just because there are a lot of people who don't know this is. I've been following the numbers all day on the coronavirus
It's
cases, the deaths.
growing
That
exponentially.
grows. I mean, the U.S. in itself has 42,530 cases.
Whoa. And it was
That's
only about 10,000 a week ago that they actually
this
reported in.
right. And
Yeah.
this morning when I had checked, there were 36,000.
Oh
So
my
talk
God.
about growing. And then in the Florida cases, 1,171, and we have 15 deaths here. And you're in a pretty busy part over there. And so we
Yeah.
did discuss that a lot of your clients with the insurance agency are
Well,
restaurant
everybody's
owners.
a ton restaurant. Even my landscapers, the condo associations aren't letting them into the grounds to even do landscaping, which
That's not good, right? I
a
mean,
little.
and it's
You
just a
don't think
small
it's
part of it,
gonna.
but right.
Yeah, the lawn's still gonna grow. So you wonder why are they not letting? They don't want anybody in. They don't want anybody. Their whole pools are getting shut down. The beaches are shut down.
Yeah.
I've got a client that owns a boat club. That he can't rent out his boats. He's like, what can you do for me? They can't make their payments. So it's just barely now starting. And I think the repercussions are going to start to get even more, as you get with an insurance, like the commercial side of it, people could potentially go either out of business or, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't.
None of us do, because the bailouts, from what we understand today, what's going on, what happened over the weekend and everything, the bailouts have stalled. The small business,
Right.
the packages that they were trying to figure out in the Senate, that has all stalled at this point. And
Right.
that's not helping folks like you and your clients.
No, because we're small. We're a small agency, but we have big hearts, and we try to help these people and get their, even like auto insurance. People can't. They're already calling me. They can't afford their payment on their auto. Like they want to cancel
Right.
them, and I'm like, well,
Right.
your license is going to get suspended. I mean, in Florida, they'll suspend your driver's license if you have a plate and you don't turn it in. They'll suspend it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to just drop it down as low as I possibly can. I mean, that might be a suggestion to people out there if they can't afford their payment to call their agent and try to drop their coverage down, at least temporarily, until things start to financially get better. That might be the only way we're all going to be able to get through this, is maybe instead of having 100,000, maybe go for 25 or 10,
Mhm.
So if you can, if
Yep.
you don't have that's possible, for your car insurance. So, there's little things that we can do here and there to help people. The insurance companies are starting to be more open with underwriting and understanding, like with cancellations, like they're letting people get reinstated. And if things go on where they didn't make their payments, they're being a little bit more flexible, but I wouldn't say they're not lowering the rates or anything. It's just, they're just being more understanding, if anything. So
Now, do you offer any kind of suggestions to your other clients? Because that's more on a personal, you and I with our car insurance. What
right.
would you tell the restaurant owners?
Well, the restaurant owners are, for example, this one that I had, I was saying, use a payroll company, maybe get through the next couple of months where you only have to pay for what you use, and then go back to their regular policy. Because the main thing is you don't want them to have a lapse in coverage. That's not good. So if they have, 6 months lapse in coverage, 4 months lapse even, it's very difficult to get insurance at that point. So they're better off actually paying as they go and using a payroll company for their employees, at least for now. Even if they keep one on board, it's better than not having coverage at all,
Right.
And they're all trying
That's
to file
really
claims.
true.
They're trying to collect, under business interruption. But, I'm telling a lot of them to go to the government funding. And obviously a lot of them aren't going to be able to get what they need. I mean, you have cleaning ladies, landscapers. I mean, nobody wants anybody in their house right now. That's the big problem. You don't
Right.
want
That is the big problem. But you know what? That's the big problem. And at the same time, there are a lot of places that are trying to help in a sense. I found out that there are still deliveries from Instacart, which is what Publix offers. Amazon is still doing deliveries now. A lot of stuff is on back order. You're not going to be able to get a lot of what you need, especially like toilet paper. But you've got the Walmart grocery, the Walmart curbside pickup. All the restaurants are doing curbside pickup now, which is nice that they're trying. I mean, at least a lot of their food isn't getting wasted. You've got DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, all of those still running. They're back up, but they're still running.
I have had people who work for restaurants who got laid off, who are now going and getting jobs with all, Amazon's hiring, Uber Eats, all of that.
Well, that's good.
That's where they're going to try to supplement their income in the meantime. So actually, they're all calling me saying, hey, and actually, I just got an email from Progressive saying, normally we don't cover this, but right now we're removing the exclusion and we're going to cover everybody that wants to deliver food. We're going to cover them, no problem, from Progressive.
Well, perfect. Well,
so,
perfect.
So I'm saying they're starting to open up underwriting to say, hey, if you want to deliver and you got a personal auto policy, then we'll cover you,
That's fantastic. And it's a lot of people trying to help, and thankfully everything comes together like that, because that's very helpful.
Yeah, of course.
On
but
the
that's
other
a place that these restaurant employees can find, work at least while they're out temporarily.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to do it. A lot of these employees, you yourself were discussing about, your employees you've had to cut back because we don't know when help is coming.
50% of their salary. I just had to basically do 50%. And just for now, I told them until we really know what's going on. And then we'll see what our production is, because I don't know what our production is going to be all working from. This situation has never happened before. So I just told them, for right now, it doesn't mean it's forever, but we don't know how long we're going to be in this,
Right. And we were discussing that yesterday about it's so finite when you're preparing for a hurricane.
But
and that's how everyone's kind of preparing, but that there's an end. And there's no end with this.
It's the longest hurricane that we've ever been through. Sorry for my dogs, my little dog.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, keeping it real over here. We're at home. This is working from home. This is what you get. The dogs are fighting.
Okay, I have a cat banging on a door out there, so we're good.
But no, I mean, I think that, my cousin, Michelle, she said there's no playbook, and that's the best way you could say it. Like, everyone was literally just living by the day, by the minute, by the hour. And we're going to see how, but, we ourselves, my agency, we've been pretty busy. There's still people calling for quotes. There's still businesses asking for certificates, which makes me happy. That means they're still trying to get work and do work outside, whether it's pressure cleaning or whatever they do.
Right.
So we're still keeping pretty busy. A lot of my European and my Canadians were forced to go. They called them all back to their countries. So we've had to turn off all their insurance on all their cars, because a lot of them keep their cars down here part-time. So it hasn't affected us, as far as not having anything to do. We're constantly on the phone. I've been going at it since 9 a.m. I just got done right now before this.
Wow.
Conference. I know. That's what I'm saying. I've been nonstop. I'm just opening up the window, looking at the kids outside. The other ones are in the pool playing all day. It's a different dynamic over here, but we're all going to do the best that we can. That's all you can do.
Yeah. So. And that's the other side of this. While you have a business, you have employees, you have clients affected, you're also a mom. And so
you're hearing, Mommy! My husband's trying to man the kids and do all of that stuff. Because my husband's affected too. My husband builds aquariums and maintains aquariums and restaurants mostly. So these restaurants won't let him in. He cannot go in to service them. So now we just lost income because, we're going to be affected. He can't do his work.
Absolutely.
Because he goes inside people's houses, restaurants, plastic surgeons' office, doctors' offices that are not considered non-essential, doctors' offices that have to be open, obviously, as a plastic surgeon. And that's where a lot of his business is. And he can't get into work. So, he's been here.
This really affects everybody. And you don't know who, and that's the reason why you don't know who's carrying and who it's going to get to. Because we've also discussed, you and I getting it. While there are young people who are passing from this illness,
Right.
your mom is someone that none of us can go near now.
Well, and that's like, where does it line? I mean, like, even in my neighborhood, these kids are knocking on my door, running in and out. You know, and it's been really hard to have to stop the kids and saying, no, I'm sorry, like, you have to go home, or, you know, like, let's play out. It's fine. I'm letting them play outside in the street and they're running around and everything. But it's hard for children to concept like the social distancing, because they don't get it. Like, they really are just not.
Yeah, and I get that. Yep.
They're not. They're really not. And, you know, even my 5-year-old, you know, it was sad. Last night at dinner, he's like, Mommy, how many deaths were there today? And it's like, the fact that a 5-year-old is even thinking that or saying that at a dinner conversation, because we always sit down for dinner every night and we talk, you know, about whatever's going on in the world. And he hears us talking, and it's like so hard to hide it from these kids, you know, like, they know what's going on. And it's like, God, our kids are living in a time right now that, like, that's really screwed up, that he even understands like what's happening, because he shouldn't have to be thinking about any of this stuff, you know. They really shouldn't. Kids should be just thinking about playing outside and not thinking about social distancing, or that they can't go to their friend's house. Like, you know, it's really difficult, like, for kids to comprehend,
to grasp it. For them to grasp it, and that's understandable.
Right. Yep. Oh, yeah. And then, you know, my son, which you'll be talking to him in a minute, you know, he has his girlfriend wanting to come over, and, you know, they're out walking around on the street, and it's just like social distancing, you know, no kissing. I'm like, that's social distancing. You know, it's like, how do you, it's very, very difficult, you know, it really is. And then here I am, I have my mom who has brain cancer, and I'm scared to death to go up there to see her, because I don't know if I'm a carrier. I mean, I was dealing with the public up until like a week ago, like, with my doors open, you know, and I had people who were on planes. One guy came in, just got off a cruise ship. Here's my payment. I just got off a cruise ship, you know, and it's like you don't think about, like, how many people was I just exposed to? One guy just flew in from Germany. He came straight to my office to reinstate his insurance. And it's like, I finally just had to say, no, like, I closed my doors to the public, because I'm like, I just was in contact with 4,000 people between a cruise and airplane from Boston, that, you know, they're coming in, you know. So when you work with the public, you don't know who you're in contact with. That's the big problem. And so now you've exposed yourself to everybody on a cruise ship, everybody on an airplane, you know. So I finally made the decision on Friday to work from home, because you just don't know. You don't know who you're in contact with. So anyway, it's a scary, scary time, and I don't want to give my mom anything, God forbid. You know, her immune system, she's already not in very good shape at all. So
of course, exactly. And that's the problem. You don't know if you're a carrier, and you just give her, you might have no symptoms, and there you go.
But a lot of people are just not taking seriously. And I'll tell you, I just got a phone call from my husband's cousin, who is in the National Guard. Supposedly in the next couple of days, they're going to be putting everybody on a national lockdown. Like, they're already moving in the army tanks, the National Guard's already coming through, where he said he doesn't even think grocery stores are going to be open, possibly.
Wow.
Yeah, like, it's going to get, like, serious very quickly. And, you know, this has been going around on the internet, and I don't know if you've gotten any of the text messages about, like, that this is going to be happening. Like, and everyone keeps saying it's a hoax, but I have a very strong feeling that it's not a hoax. Like, it's actually for real going to happen, because it's the only way we're going to stop it.
Right. And I think that's why a lot of people it's truly turned into hoarding. And that's why there are people who don't have the supplies they need.
Yeah, that's true.
Arnold and I have literally sent over toilet paper and paper towels, and most recently chicken, to my mother down south. I mean, we've been sending folks down south stuff because there's nothing in stores.
Wow.
The only thing in our stores right now is red meat. It's really, and you understand why they're doing it. At the same time, it's so selfish, because so many people don't have what they need. But then we're facing everything's going to be shut down, and everyone's panicking. Right. Now, that's tough to say, well, don't panic. I do have a couple phone numbers I want to give out just because there
Go
are some
for it.
people listening. I know my mother was kind of like, well, who do I call? So we gave her the phone numbers, but the COVID-19 call center that's on the Florida government website is 866-779-6121. Again, 866-779-6121. And then their email is covid-19@flhealth.gov. The other thing I wanted to say is you can always go to the cdc.gov website and find out information from them. But those are two good websites for testing and everything else. If you need to get tested, if you're having symptoms, if you're over 60 or 65, you're testing, that's the phone number to call. Again, that number, which is open 24/7, is 866-779-6121.
And a
So
lot of
how
these
is
cities are
homeschooling
having
going?
the homeschooling?
What
Not
were
to
you going
change
to
the
say?
subject, but no, I was going to add to what you were saying. They have the drive-throughs now where they swab you you actually have drive-through COVID-19 testing.
Yes, yes, but they're so
Are they
static.
backed
And
up?
that's why I just wanted to, yeah, they've got different areas
Yeah.
throughout the state. You go here, you go there. That's why they're asking everyone if you need to find out an area that they're
Like
testing.
where to get
in your
tested.
area.
Right.
Yes,
For
where to
sure.
go.
Oh, for
So
sure.
that's the phone number that you call to find out what's going on. So I know that we don't have a whole lot of time. I don't know if you wanted to get Anthony on the horn real quick. We'll
Oh
talk
yeah.
to him
Let me.
for a couple
Yeah.
minutes.
Hold on for just a moment.
All right.
Real quick to get. How long do you have to get on? He's talking to his girlfriend. Very
All
serious
right. We'll talk to him later.
Well, he'll be chiming in. But back to the homeschool situation. That's starting on March 31st for us. So
Okay.
we're really lucky. Our kids were already on the iPad, where all of their books were on the iPad and all their schoolwork is on the iPad. But a lot of kids aren't. Like our neighbors are, the parents had to go to the school and physically pick up their stuff and have to teach their kids everything. I've had other people, friends of mine, that they actually are giving them laptops, and they're going to be on, either Google Chat or Meet or one of these Canvas websites that their teacher's going to be actually online teaching them.
Okay.
So, it's going to be different, and I don't know, they're saying it's going to be till April 17th, but we don't know.
Right.
Anthony's track coach is giving him all kinds of workouts. All his sports were canceled. He plays football, he runs track, and they're giving him workouts to do.
Crazy at this point. It's funny. My dad actually just today was testing one of his online forums. This way he can teach from offline and online. And we were going back and forth. He was trying to show me that he can share screen and
right. How to do it.
Yeah, because he's over there with the Art Institute of Atlanta. And so that's how they're going to have to do it from now on.
Well,
this is how I said it. This is and that's our new normal.
And you know what? He has to actually check into every class. Every time he switches classes, he has to check in with the teacher with that class. So he's going to be, if he doesn't check in, then he's considered like absent.
Wow.
So he's going to have to, it's going to be like a regular schedule, just like when you switch classes in school, but all the kids are going to be on like a Google chat where everyone's little faces pop up and the teacher teaches them. And then they're going to have all their assignments still, everything. They did say they were going to grade on a curve. Like it wasn't going to be as, since they're not getting direct contact teaching, since it's social distancing teaching, that they're going to curve their grades. But we'll see. And who I feel bad for now are the seniors. This is the last, they're not going to have their prom. My son's only a freshman,
Yep.
but can you imagine your senior year of high school having to go through this? I feel so bad. I mean, that time is such a special time for prom and graduation. And, our cousin just was getting married. They had to cancel their wedding. I mean, there's a lot of big things being canceled right now and they might not be able to reschedule it till God knows when,
Yep. Yeah. And the elective surgeries, we were having that talk as well about the surgeries. Right now, all elective surgeries have been canceled.
Oh, yeah.
That's why your sister's husband's plastic surgery office just recently closed because of that.
Right, yeah. Yep. But they were seeing patients. They were making them wait in the car. They'd call them in, kind of like at the airport when you get picked up at the airport, like the cell phone station. They called. I mean, they were doing everything the safest that they could, but then the government came in and was like, no more. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is. I think that it'll all get better. Here's Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Hey,
She wants to interview you.
what's up?
So, Anthony, what we wanted to talk about with you was how is this really affecting you as a teenager? How is it kind of like it stinks to not be able to go into school? You can't really see your girlfriend. You can't really see your friends. What's going on? You miss prom?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get with any girls or like hang out with any friends or anything.
That's the only thing it cares about.
Oh, we'll get through it, right? We'll get through it.
God.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
What do you
What
give
about
kids
school?
your
What do you
age
think
right now,
about
though?
how
What
we
do you
have to
give
do
your kids as your kids? What would you give kids your age, essentially, teenagers your age? What kind of advice do you give them?
It's like just FaceTime people and like just stay on top of everything. Don't like just pretend it's like a break because it's not.
That's a good answer. What
I
about
like that.
school? What do you think about your school having to actually do distance learning? What do you think about that?
It sucks.
He misses his friends. He actually
Yeah.
for the first time ever was like, Mom, I really want to go to school. I miss my friends. I miss school. He misses,
Yeah.
track, football.
Football.
It's,
Workouts.
his whole life was just taken away from, as a kid, that's pretty traumatic.
Mm-hmm. It is because Anthony, of course, you're old enough to understand what's going on, but kids like your siblings' ages don't understand what's happening. We've never really had to deal with this aside from maybe a hurricane. And again, that ends after maybe a few days if you don't get hit hard. So it's really tough on youngsters.
Yeah, I'm like little kids. It's just like yeah.
But are you social distancing?
No.
Like you're supposed to?
No.
See? It's hard for him to social distance. I mean, they're walking around the neighborhood just hanging out like an idol to, Saturday, paddleboarding, whatever. It's just.
It's really hard to sit in the house and not do anything.
Yeah.
Being out in the sun. I mean, all of our beaches are closed. So what are these kids supposed to do?
I know. And you guys are boaters.
Yeah.
We're big boaters. We can't even boat on the beach. We have to stay 3 feet back. They're going to stop us boating. Somebody told us they're going to shut down the waters that we can't boat.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
If the national shutdown happens, that you're not going to be allowed to seriously leave your house. We're really going to have to be all inside quarantine.
Yeah. It's going to get, I'd like to say it's going to get better. It's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. We're still waiting on those. I know that the bailouts for, personal for business, that's all been stalled. But they'll come to an agreement. Here's to hoping they'll come to an agreement and hopefully all of that gets better. But it's not going to be like this forever. But, with everyone staying inside and not infecting everybody, it's going to get fixed a whole lot quicker. And that's what people do need to understand. So.
Right.
I do need to end this soon, just because I think we're out of time here. I really thank you very much if you want to hang on for just a moment, but I really thank you for talking to me. And I know whoever's watching this, if you'd like to talk about how the coronavirus is affecting you, your business, family, if you have tips that you'd like to share that maybe we missed during this call, you can contact me at ericadelsordo1@gmail.com.
All right. That's what we'll do.
All right. So, by the way, also, I was going to mention my computer just shut off.
Oh, no.
I want to mention a huge thank you to folks working every day, risking themselves and their families to keep you fed, to keep you safe, stocked up, and of course, well. Myself and my family are extremely grateful for all of you. You all stay safe and sane out there. God bless. Thank you, Gina, very much.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. Oh, wait, I did it. Wait, we're side by side. Finally.
I love it.
Remember,
Like
I don't know what you hit.
You know how to do it?
No.